What's up, guys? Welcome to A Reseller's Life. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. In this episode, I'm going to go over how I had $2,863 in sales yesterday and the exact step-by-step process I use to do that. And you can do it too. It's not rocket science. If you want to see exactly what it is that I sold, you can go into my public store. It's called Daily Refinement. Click on Left for Others, and you can see all 1,172 items I have sold since I just started. It's about 45,000 in sales in the last 3 months. But again, this is a brand new store. It should trend all the way up to $60,000 by the end of the year per month. Two notable sales. Sold the Christian LaCroix, I think that's how you pronounce it, sweater for $100, and also Rick Owens boots that we found at the Goodwill bins. We paid, I think, $1.50 for these. Sold for $2.23, so two awesome pickups. But specifically, why did I have 70 sales yesterday instead of my normal 20? This store is chugging along between $650 and $1,000 a day in sales. And it's averaging just over 700 a day in this store. And part of this store is cross-listed. But specifically yesterday, why that many sales happened was I sent 900 offer to watchers. So I don't normally use that feature because you have to offer a discount in order to have your customers buy. So I individually, for 700 of them, went through and offered a corresponding discount depending on the item. And if it's an item that has a little bit more margin, then of course I would send a little bit of a deeper discount than if it's an item that I have really small margins on. 5% would probably be the max. I don't typically like doing offers to watchers because you have to give up your margin. You're basically paying at least a 5% discount to get people to buy your item right now. And the benefit to that would be you can use that money to buy new inventory. But for most people, since you're operating with a lack of time, I would try to get as much money for each item and list the best items that you can. Instead of high churn, most people are not in a position to do volume because you may be working a regular job. Whatever reason, I think you should maximize your time, not how fast you turn over items if you only have a smaller store. So on this page right here, you can see I have a printout of the 14 things that I actually do to make my items sell faster. And it all comes down to selling your aged inventory so that you can have you can have capital to buy new stuff. And again, you need a process. You need this all written down. That way you don't have to think about it because it's actually pretty complicated. So if you have it all written down, it's very simple to execute. But if you're trying to think of these 14 things off the top of your head, it's never going to happen. So this is going to go into my reseller field guide, which is updated every Friday now around midnight. So you can review the new stuff over the weekend. It's either going to be for free in my Skillshare course. That is in the link in the description below. If you sign up for Skillshare, you can take the course for free, or you can buy my reseller field guide for $35 using code YouTube. And every Friday I'll present new updates from my new findings. It took me a little bit of time to make everything public in this store, but now it's nice because I can follow through and people can ask questions if they want to know why I'm doing something in this specific store. And you can see if you save up all your offer to watchers, I only sent 10 since I had the store open. I did it on a live video a couple of months ago. I sent out 10, and right on the live video I sold one of the 10, and that gives me sort of my barometer. I was thinking I was going to sell one item out of every 10 offered to watchers that I sent, but it ended up being about 5%. So I sent out 900 and I had 45 sales from that promotion. But that's only one of 5 promotions that I do. So one of them is promoted listings. That is where you go in and you promote your listings at a certain amount to get a higher visibility in eBay. I don't necessarily recommend doing that because you don't have to do that if you have great items listed. Plus, as a consumer, whenever I see a promoted listing, it kind of makes me think this is somebody trying to promote. They're trying to make something that's not as popular by just paying for that placement. So I think consumers are smart. As you can see in the last 30 days, I've only spent $60 on promoted listings. So very little. I don't want people to spend too much money on this because you don't have to. I like experimenting between 1% and 2% depending on what item, and it depends on how many you have. I have one pair of sandals that I have 76 of. I used that promoted listings of 20% actually to sell the first one. Then after I sold the first one, I turned it off because I already have that premium placement. On eBay, the top placement are for things that sell over and over and over again. They don't like one-off sellers. eBay is built for replenishables. So when you have an item that you have multiple items of, you may want to spend the money to get it promoted in the beginning to get some sales, but then after that, turn it off because organic looks so much better. When you are a consumer, something pops up on top and you see they did not pay for that placement, you're going to be more savvy and think it's a good product. Okay, so the other promotions that I run are combined shipping. So $9.99 shipping when you buy 2 or more items. This is how I encourage people to earn free shipping. So maybe you don't get free shipping on the first item, but you do on second, third, fourth, and fifth item. I had one person yesterday buy 5 pairs of shoes from me for the shipping cost of 1 item. And they did that for a couple of reasons. 1, they wanted to take advantage of the combined shipping. 2, I have a $110 discount. So I'm sorry, I offer a $10 discount on items on order sizes over 110. So the person double dipped. They got a $10 discount on the whole order, and they also got free shipping on every item except for the first item. So I do that intentionally to get people to increase the order size, which means less work for me to earn the same amount of money. You can see here also, I have a fake sale, meaning I intentionally mark my items up 20%, mark it down 20%, and I named it beginning of the year blowout, everything must go. It's not really that dramatic, but again, I feel like a little bit of cheese sells it because you want people to have a sense of urgency when they're in your store. I used to, like every 48 hours, rerun the sale. I learned that from Rockstar Flipper when I first started selling. Now I don't have time to do that. But if you do have a lot of extra time, you can go in here and change these sales all the time. I don't recommend that usually. I recommend having a system. So if you are going to change it all the time, do it on a schedule. Don't just randomly go in there. This week it's 3 days. Next week it's a week. Next week it's 10 days. That's too much mental real estate. Just do one thing over and over again and get really good at it. And that's how you're going to dominate. So I have 5 different promotion processes. These are all going to be a separate module in Skillshare and Teachable. So you guys can get, if you want to do it step by step, you can, but promoted listings, combined shipping, an order discount, a fake markdown. And then you can also send offers to watchers. So people who watch your item or save it, you can ping them if you decide to discount your items. Some people actually mark their items up and wait for watchers and then send them the notification. But again, I don't like that because if they see that your item is priced too high in the beginning, they may just move on and buy something else. That's how I do it. I don't have time to offer every single thing I'm looking for. I just buy whatever is the best deal. Okay. So once you have promotions set up, you can just leave it on lockdown. This is how you do it. Next would be your aged inventory process. So what do you do when an item doesn't sell? Do you cross-list it to a different platform? If you do, be very careful. That takes a lot of time. There are subscriptions you probably need to sign up for. You might need to use a VA. It makes your business more complicated. I would recommend for most small sellers, do not cross-list. Use that time to list more items. I would rather you have a 100 item store optimized on eBay or Poshmark or Mercari than 25 listings on all 3 platforms. To me, it's like you can never really get really great at a platform if you only have 25 listings because you don't get enough practice. So cross-listing, it's okay, especially if you have a larger store, but make sure that you're really good at least one platform. For me, Poshmark and Mercari are just bonus. I can get enough money for what I need to do on just eBay. Do you have a discount process? Maybe every 30, 60, and 90 days you discount an item to get rid of it. Maybe you increase the sale. It gets higher and higher as time goes on. Maybe you delist, improve the item, and relist it after 60 days. That's my recommendation. Maybe you donate items. Maybe you send them to auction. Whatever it is, make sure you have a process written down because that's a lot of stuff I just went over. That's 5 different ways of dealing with inventory that's aged. While you are working and shipping and listing and purchasing, you're not going to have time to think of these, and you're going to forget some of these tools that are going to help you maintain a steady sales. I would consider my store probably like a decently conditioned athlete. It's like a weekend warrior. It's not it's not Olympic level by any means. Those stores are listing, you know, thousands of items perfectly every single day. I'm not at that level, but it can this level of store can certainly make you a full-time living. And this is 42 listings a day. Is this store Monday through Friday? This store has 2 days off. So again, once you have the steps required to build your store, all it is now adding those steps to your schedule. And that's what my mastermind call is about. If you decide to pick up the reseller field guide for 35 bucks, I'll give you 3 months membership into my Patreon group to meet Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. to 6:30. That's my office hours. You can stop in, ask a question, go over your schedule. But again, people are trying to overcomplicate this. It's not that complicated. It takes about 10 minutes to sell an item. Customer service, accounting, everything, 10 minutes. That's it. If you are trying to make it more complicated than that, then this is hard to say, but you're just procrastinating. Most of the people looking for things like news or whatever, scrolling endlessly through social media, they're just procrastinating. It only is a 10-minute process from start to finish when you list, sell, promote, customer service, all that stuff. It's only about 10 minutes. Okay, finally, this one is really important. This is the customer service process. So for me, you guys know, once you start having a lot of items in your store, you're going to get a lot of questions, you're going to get a lot of offers, and you should have your processes written down so that you can make the best use of your time. So as an example, for me, I do not actually accept best offers. I either decline them or I counter. Those are the two options for me. You may accept an offer, but the problem is sometimes when I accept an offer, they don't pay. So I have changed my procedure to a shortcut. So I type in eBay offer, and on my computer, it pre-populates this little saying which says, "Thank you so much for your offer. I have changed the price to the best I can offer with free shipping. I appreciate your time. Have a great day." What I will do is decline their offer, lower the price of my item to whatever their offer is. What that does is it pings all the other people who are watching the item saying the price has been lowered. Also lets that person know if they don't buy and pay right now, somebody else might be able to get it. I have gotten many messages saying, can I buy this, agree to buy it right now, and I'll pay for it in a week. And I'm like, no, thank you for the offer, but no, I have just lowered the price. You offered $25, so I'm lowering it to $25. Pick it up when you have a chance. Thank you for your time. 2 minutes later, they just paid for it, even though they said they couldn't pay for it for another week. Most of the items on eBay, I get a lot of messages saying, I'm going to wait until payday, but then they end up just paying right away. I don't want to wait until payday. I want their money right now. I don't know if that's sort of psychologically justifying it for them, but sometimes payday rolls around and they don't pay. Nothing is more frustrating for me than waiting for money. eBay is the only platform where someone can agree to pay and not pay. The other platforms, they automatically charge the people once you accept their offer. So very, very interesting. But again, I want you guys to have processes written down for all this stuff. All of these guides and the way I do it are in my reseller field guide for 35 bucks. That really helps me make these tutorials. So it helps you guys continue to build your resale community. But again, some people don't have $35. I understand that. That's why Skillshare is my sponsor. And they have free courses. You get 60 days free for signing up for Skillshare. Similar course on Skillshare. The only downside is that after 60 days that you are going to have to continue with a paid subscription if you want to continue on Skillshare. But again, I look forward to updating my reseller field guide every Friday. Make sure you have a process for best offers, a process for answering questions, and also a procedure for returns. This is really important. I'm going to take just a second on this. You either want to discard the return. Something comes in, maybe it's damaged or somebody used it and returned it back to you, or whatever reason. You may want to throw it away. You may want to just immediately relist it. And I usually figure out why it was returned in the first place and do it. Or you may just start over, take it out of the box, throw it in the pile, and just relist it from scratch again. That's usually not a bad process because it's much easier to list a new item than to go back and fix an old one, in my opinion. So it just depends on your process and procedure. But again, all of my processes are actually printed out on a 4x6-inch label. And this right here is an example of that. So this is a 4x6-inch label that I have printed, and it's just on my desk here so that I can just follow these procedures over and over again. I want to reduce the amount of thinking required to run my store, and you guys should do the same. So again, thank you very much for listening to my show. All of my shows are sponsored by my reseller field guide, which is available in the link below. Please follow my store if you have any questions. The username is Daily Refinement on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. I'm really focused on making sure my eBay store is running perfectly because Poshmark and Mercari can just be extra at that point. So I appreciate your time. Until next time, hit the like button, leave a comment below, and make progress daily.